All right, baby. It is the Sunday Night Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great Doc P, and we got another really, really big show for you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the Sunday Night Spotlight, every Sunday, you know, we interview somebody that is, as I say, of interest. Well, hey, I got a doozy for you tonight, folks. All right, because hey, I got a radio personality, I got a TV personality, I got a communicator, a woman of God, you know, with the ministry, a lot of great, fabulous things. I have the one, the only Nayomi Charnelle is in the house.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Wow. Hey,
So
you know,
yes.
it's great to have you here. Now, I know there are a lot of different things that you do, but like if I am to introduce you properly, all right, and to really pinpoint, you know, one of the most important things that you do, I would say that you are the founder of Petals of Patience, all right, and that's a ministry that you do,
yeah.
okay, and that's how long have you been doing that?
I've been in ministry about 2 years now.
Okay.
And so I created Petals of Patience because what the whole idea behind it is to help people who have gone through traumatizing events in their lives get healed and you know, get themselves back to loving themselves again. You know, because a lot of times when we are victimized, we blame ourselves and we think that it's something that we did wrong, that we could have stopped it and things of that nature. But sometimes you just can't. And the whole goal is to get people back to loving themselves again through the love of God.
Wow, that is fantastic. And, you know, that's something that is so needed right now in the world. I mean, and certainly in these times right now, you know, I mean, depression has just like run rampant.
Yeah.
You know, so many folks I know are suffering from it. And, you know, it's really crazy. I mean, that's such great work that you're doing. But, you know, what I really want to do is I want to get into the creator of all of this, Nayomi Charnelle. Now, tell me about yourself. I heard that you were a native New Yorker, or that you are a native New Yorker.
Yes. Boogie down Bronx, baby. Boogie down Bronx.
Get out of here.
Born and raised. Boogie down Bronx.
Okay. Yep. See, I'm a Westchester kid, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, up in White Plains, you know, that's where I was.
White Plains. Yeah.
You know, y'all come to see us when you want to go shopping, you know what I mean?
White Plains Road, that's right.
You know, and all the malls we got up way up there, up there, you know. We still try to consider ourselves uptown also, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some city folks try to say, oh, you're upstate. We ain't upstate. You know.
Y'all ain't the city though.
We ain't the city. All right, yeah. You got to remind me of that, right?
Yeah.
You ain't the city either now. Yeah, you know. But we ain't the country. We're like a good midpoint. A good midpoint. Yeah. Wow. So born and raised in the Bronx?
Yes, born and raised in the Bronx. Like, I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world because, I mean, it's like I grew up with all sorts of ethnicities. You know, one of my best friends was Japanese. Her name was Kiyomi. And yeah, like I grew up with everybody. You know, it was rare to come across. I maybe came across 2 white kids, but but other than that, it was like a mixture of Japanese. We had Chinese, we had Italian. It was, you know, and I'm grateful for that background, you know, because that taught me to just get along with everybody. It's not about race, and you know, because people of other ethnicities were my best friends growing up. We had a ball. in public school.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, 48.
Wow. So you was there with the hip hop firsthand, huh?
Yes, and you want to hear something so crazy? I never actually. This is the first time I've ever spoke this
Okay.
on your show. Actually, when I was about, I want to say I was about 5. I want to say it was kindergartenish. Kindergarten.
Okay.
We had a field trip to WBLS, the radio station.
What? Okay.
Remember Frankie Crocker?
Yeah.
Frankie Crocker? Yes, we had a field trip to the radio station.
Get out of here.
And I remember they was telling me to talk, they were like, say something. And I was like, I just didn't want to say anything. And here I am years and years later with radio being a love of mine. I absolutely love radio.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, that's the real virus out here is radio, because that bug, once that bug bites you, it's like you can go off and do other things. Yeah. You go up and do all the stuff that you want to do, but somehow it's going to keep pulling you back in.
Right.
And so when did you leave the Bronx?
I left the Bronx as a teenager. So I was about 16, 17. My mom had gotten a job in Cleveland, Ohio. And it was like, of all places, what are we doing there?
Wow.
But I had to go because she was supporting me. So I really didn't have a choice. So, I went. Choice. Yeah, but in Cleveland, it was just a whole different world in Cleveland. They, instead of soda, they say pop,
Right, yeah.
instead of the movies, they say to pick the show. And I'm like, what? What show is this boy? I'll never forget, this teenage, we was in high school. He asked me on the school bus, he said, you want to go to the show with me? I said, what show? Who is that? And he said, the picture show. I said, oh, the movies. And they got a kick out of my accent, boy. They would say, well, say dog. And I would be like, dog,
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I want some soda. They'd be like, that's crackers. I'm like, no, it's not crackers. They'd be like, oh, you mean pop? I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's crazy.
Yes, talk about culture shock, man. That was a whole different. I saw Jerry curls. The men had Jerry curls down to their backs, man. I was like, yo, what is going on here?
Craziness. So now, how did you started to get involved in the whole entertainment, circles? Because I know that you started out doing like some correspondence and stuff like that. You were actually a writer for music magazine, right?
Yes, I started out actually because I've always been a big fan of Oprah.
Okay.
And I've always been nosy, and I've always wanted to know, what made people tick. Like, how did you get involved in this? I always wanted to hear people's backstories.
Right. Okay.
And so I figured, I said, and then with all this Facebook and Instagram and all of this stuff, I saw people on there and on YouTube, they had their own videos. Mm-hmm. And, they were interviewing people or just getting on there talking. And I said, I really think I could do that, Mm-hmm. So somebody I knew called somebody that they knew, and they gave me a song. The magazine gave me a song to critique.
Okay.
So they sent the song to me. It was a female rapper, and I listened to the song. They gave me like 3 days to get it done.
Okay.
I listened to the song. I wrote it up. I got it done in 2 days. They called me on the write-up, and they said, we had to go back and listen to the song because you caught so much. You caught so much stuff. They was like, how did you? I said, yes, the background, is featuring, it's sampling an Isley Brothers old tune,
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, I got the job just like that. They was like, yes. So I interviewed.
You knew your music. You know your music.
Yeah. I mean, growing up in New York, that's like all we had. We had music all the time, and my mother never went without music. We had music before we had food because she would buy those big old albums. You remember those big old,
yeah.
big old albums? We always had music.
So, what was you rocking with as a kid, music wise? Like, what left the real good, deep impression on you?
Man, I'm about to tell my age, but
I ain't trying to date you, date you, but
tell my age, man. But she would always buy the latest and the greatest, like it was the rhythm and blues. It was always she loved Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh,
she
man.
loved Charlemagne's. She loved the Jackson 5, of course, and Michael Jackson's, and it's just anything that was new. It came out. Like, I'll never forget, she bought Stevie Wonder's Hotter Than July.
Yeah.
And my jam off of that. Yeah, my jam off of that.
So
yeah.
With all of this music, with all of this music around you all the time, that it's no wonder that you because you was listening to it all, so you knew the history of everything. So what have you seen along your way, like, as being a part of critiquing music? I know that you also were a part of scouting out talent, like listening to stuff for the radio stations and stuff like that, new music and all of that. What is it in music these days, in your opinion, that makes it good? Like, what do you look for?
Well, it's a big difference in music these days.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that. I don't feel much effort is put in like it was before. But I was fortunate to be in a position where I interviewed up and coming talent, where I saw that people out here have some real talent. There is some real talent out here, but unfortunately, the radio stations are only playing, what sells at the moment,
Right.
So to me, it's like it's not much creative thought gone into it. But for those artists who are underground, for those who are out there, they independent and they got the talent. They can actually sing a song. They can actually write a song. They can actually rap. They actually understand what they're rapping about. They're using their metaphors. They're using, just different scenarios and different situations, and it makes sense. That's what I miss. But there's a lot of rappers out there that can do it. So I'm glad it hasn't completed. Their faith hasn't been shooken, or that they want to give up because the radio stations aren't giving them the love that it should.
Yeah, and do you see like any type of particular trends happening with a lot of the new independent music that's coming out? Because it seems as though the artists have a little bit more power now, as before. But I mean, getting played on the major radio stations, of course, that's still a lot of the big companies involved with that. You know what I mean? But what was your radio experience like? Because I've seen you've done so much of it. I mean, you've been affiliated, a co-host on Power 104, and also with your Diva T Media company. You've interviewed a lot of different celebrities. Like, I mean, that's and now, so you're not doing any radio at the moment, or do you?
No, unfortunately, due to COVID, that kind of shut a lot of everything down.
Right.
but when I did, I mean, I know that I'll be getting back into it, but it's going to be on more so of the gospel inspirational music type thing.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. We'll see. But when I did do radio, I did like the gossip, the celebrity gossip, and talking about what was going on with the celebrities.
Right.
And then I did a segment with Shep Daddy, and we talked about relationships. We talked about the segment was called "I Got Beef," and he would talk about what he had beef about, and I had talk about what I had beef about. Just different things. Just different things. And then we also had a segment where we had people sending their demos, and these are hip hop artists, from around the country, and some from out of the country actually sent, and it was hip hop, and we would listen to it and then vote, if we want to play this again, let it move forward or trash it,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's some exciting stuff. So, but in some way, in the midst of all of this, though, it seems as though there was a higher calling starting to come through for you.
Yes, there was, because as I remember trying to interview a lot of the celebrities, I'd gotten, most of them were really nice. They were really nice. I wasn't expecting Tank to be so nice, and he was the nicest of them all. I interviewed him and Dougie Fresh. I interviewed Dougie Fresh. I interviewed Tank and Avant, all in the same night.
Oh yeah,
you're talking about tired. I was tired.
Wow.
But I had to get in there with Tank because he had that hit when we first dropped, and it was like, okay, I got to get this interview. And I had spoke to his manager, and I'm like, hey, can I just get 10 minutes with him? Well, I don't even need 10 minutes. Let me get 5 minutes with him. And he was like, who are you? Where are you from? I said, Power 104. And he said, well, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I said, look, give me 5 minutes and I'm out. He said, you know what? I like your hustle. Let me talk to him. Let me see. And Tank was like, yeah. That interview was on YouTube, actually. He was awesome to interview. He really was.
Wow. So now, so at what point, though, did you start to, because I know that after a while you went to Bible Heart University.
Yes.
Okay. And you studied over there. So, at what point was it that, where, what occurred, or, what were the ideas that started to, bring that out?
Yeah, because a lot of our people are hurting, men and women, and I just felt that interviewing celebrities and not taking anything from them, because there are some celebrities out there that do some wonderful things for the world. I'm not taking anything from them. But I found that my calling and my purpose was not to interview them any longer, because a lot of times people start idolizing them. And then a lot of times these celebrities, they start making money their God. And it's like they need that attention all the time. But really, their spirit is so broken. They're heartbroken over something. They wear this mask every day. You got these young girls out here showing half their bodies or most of their bodies, just to get some type of attention. And so what my purpose is, I would love to get down to the hurt of that person, or that celebrity. Maybe a celebrity will let me coach them, and just get down to, okay, why are you struggling like this? Why do you have to put on this show? Because a lot of them put on the show, they'll get off the stage singing, and then they backstage crying their eyes, and they feel lonely. They feel like people don't love them. They just love what they have. You know what I mean? And we can't forget that these celebrities, they're people, and they hurt. They have feelings, And so my calling was to just help heal people, whether it be a celebrity, whether it be a regular person. Let's get you back to loving you. Let's get you back to letting you know how much God loves you, and how much Jesus loves you. and things will start turning around. That's the whole purpose. Let's just get this turned around, because our men are so broken. Our men are so broken, but they don't want to talk about it. They can't talk about it,
Right.
because it makes them look weak. Sometimes they feel like that, but it's like, no, you got feelings too, and you got a right to not feel so good today. You got a right to feel like somebody hurt you, and let's work through that pain.
And that's the thing, that in a lot of our communities, these types of issues are just never addressed. And you said specifically with men, a lot of men, black men specifically, a lot of times have a hard time really dealing with the emotions and just putting up with all that it is that this world is throwing at us. I just think that it's such a real miracle that in the depth of you really exploring your dream to really get into the entertainment industry, that you found a deeper calling within that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that really is true growth. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
It's
I was gonna say, I believe God knew what he was doing, because you're talking to a woman who was scared to talk to people at one point. It was like, if you said my name, I would jump. I'm like, huh, what you calling me for? Like, it was so crazy, because when I, doing media is how I got to just come up to people and start talking to them. I learned how to build that confidence and just talk to people. And so God's plan was, let me get her in this. She liked this. She likes celebrities. She liked the bling bling. Let me get in that, and then move her on over. Now, I speak to audiences. Now it's like, I'll do a conference and speak to people there. So yeah, because this is what he's ordered.
Yeah, we're going to get in the next segment. We're going to get into your conference and a lot of that stuff. But I really want to know what it was like for this girl from the Bronx, right? Going through Ohio and all of that, and then winding up at the Bible College, the Bible University. What was that experience like? There.
Well, it to be honest, it was through the internet. But it was a lot of studying, a lot of reading.
That's right.
Because you have to deal with people, in hospice, people that are dying, because I'm an ordained chaplain. So I can go visit people in hospice. I can do prison ministry. I can go to prisons and talk to the women there. I can do military as well, talk to some of the military men and women.
Right.
So it's different, things that I can do. I can also marry people and perform funerals as well. So I would wear many different hats with that. But the experience was great. And, like I said, you really have got to have the heart for this. You have got to have the heart for it and the tenacity for it, because people, they're in a lot of pain. And where it's so easy for people to sweep stuff up under the rug and say, oh, well, because growing up for me, when we face trauma, you just had to deal with it. Yeah. You had to deal with it, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy for anybody. I really want to get to these boys, these teenage boys, because they look so angry, and a lot of them spend their time being, high all the time, and it's like they don't understand that they're a target. And this country is meant for them to turn, a lot of them to turn into prisoners, and it's the plan, And so I really want to get to these teenage boys and show them. I want to show them the movie 13, the 13th. What is it, right? 13.
Yeah.
They need to watch that so they can understand that they are targeted.
Nayomi Charnelle, ladies and gentlemen. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Wow. See, now, I had no idea that you were going to give me such a thought-provoking... I knew, my man Anthony Little, he was referring you. I knew that you definitely had something good with you, but this is really, I mean, this is heavy. This is, I gotta bounce to a break, okay, and pay some bills. Okay. I want to come back and really talk more about, you know, your ministry, a lot of the things that you're doing, you know, because this is the essential work that nobody really pays attention to. Yeah. But it's really important, you know. Right. We're gonna come back with more right here on the Sunday Night Spotlight with Nayomi Charnelle. Keep it locked, baby. WSME SM Enlightenment Radio, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. WSME SM Enlightenment Radio, baby. We are back. It is the Sunday Night Spotlight. And hey, I'm telling you, we're not disappointing tonight, baby. It is a great show. Nayomi Charnelle is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And you know, I feel really fortunate that I've met you. When I'm seeing all of the great work that it is that you're doing. We've been talking about your life, a lot of the different stuff that you've been through, you know. Yeah. Coming from the Bronx and you know, doing the entertainment thing, doing the radio thing, you know, a lot of different stuff. You've been all in L.A. and red carpets and
yes. So I flew to L.A. I interviewed some up and coming talent there, and I also interviewed DC Young Fly, comedian DC Young Fly. So he was really, really nice. And actually it was so crazy because my cousin had took me to this spot where all the comedians hang out. And he said, you know, because they're all just itching to get on stage, right. You know, and of course this is pre-COVID. And he said, I'm telling you, all you got to do is stand there with your mic and, you know, I'm going to have my girl video you. I promise you, people are going to want to come up to you. And that's what happened.
That's it.
I was there all night. I had the microphone and I'm like, yes, you know, representing Queen City Fame. And, you know, I had the microphone and just talking to different celebrities. Joe Torre, you know, he was pretty cool. Yeah. Pierre, the comedian Pierre, you know, spoke with him. And, you know, it was a great experience. It really was. And I mean, people was just, oh, can I talk? Can I interview? Can I just, and I'm like, okay, sure. You know, and I was there all night. So, but it was really nice. It was really cool. And it's something that I love to do. Like, I don't mind standing there and just talking to people, you know, that's one of my gifts, you know, one of my gifts.
You are no doubt a people's person. Yeah. You know, and it's also no question the fact that that you developed a deep caring for people as well. When you know, when you're doing this and you're able to identify that, hey, there's a real need out here for you know, for people to help themselves get out a lot of this hurt that's going on. You know. Yeah. So you know, now I know that eventually you developed a conference.
Yes. So I called it Two Queens and a King. Okay. It was myself, author Sidel Britton. She has a book called I Am Enough. And also, I call him my brother in Christ, Josh Proby. This is a phenomenal man. Josh Proby. He wrote about 10 books while he was in prison.
Wow.
Got out of prison, and he has a trucking company. He does a lot of the, interactions with voting, a lot of politics, and he's been just everywhere. So that's another phenomenal man. So when I do the next conference, more than likely he will be speaking at that conference as well. So
okay.
Yes,
So,
but that was the point, was to uplift and encourage people, empower women throughout.
So is there a specific time of the year that, or that you have the conference, or?
Well, unfortunately,
I know
COVID
now.
shut it
I know
down
now.
this
I know
year.
now. Everything. Yeah, this
Yeah,
pandemic has shut everything down.
yes. So I am going to do Two Queens and a King again. Just not sure when. I've been invited to a couple of other conferences for me to just speak,
Okay.
Yeah, but my creation, Two Queens and a King, I'll be doing that again. And I'm not sure if it's going to be in Charlotte or if it's going to be in Atlanta. So one of those.
Okay. Now, and you're based in Charlotte
I'm in
now?
Charlotte.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. So you've been, moving around out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's not going to be long before you're just nationwide, because there really is a real need for what it is that you're doing. And I had promised that I definitely wanted to get more into the Petals of Patience
Yeah.
outreach ministry.
Yes.
And
Yes.
how did you like literally form that, like?
Yeah. So that came with my own battles. I battled addiction for a while, addiction to alcohol for a very long time.
Okay.
And I noticed that, when I came out of it, God still loved me and he was very patient with me. So that's where the patient came from. Patience.
Oh, okay.
Petals is flowers. As you see, I love flowers. I got a big old backdrop of flowers. I just
Yeah.
love flowers, So, but it just dawned on me that I just saw a lot of our women suffering, and how they think that their body is all that they're about, how they feel that they're nothing more than their private parts.
Right.
And they think that this is how you get a man and this is how you keep a man, and and it's disheartening, but a lot of it comes from hurt from the past. So Petals of Patience, the ministry is to help you uncover your past, face your past, because a lot of us, we bury what happens to us.
Right.
Women and men alike that were molested, or raped and things of that nature. A lot of people bury that, but it comes out in other ways, and that's the reason why a lot of our women, they talk about they want this man, they want this ideal man, but they don't know how to keep them. Once you get them, how you gonna keep them?
Yeah. Because
if you broken down, how do you expect, and you can't blame it on the man all the time. You cannot blame it on the man all the time, because a lot of times it's not them, it's you, because you haven't dealt with your pain and you're in from the past.
And there's real truth in the whole concept that you really can't love anyone else until you love yourself.
Amen. Amen. And that's what I am. I'm a self-love coach. So I'm here to help you love yourself again through the love of God, so you can love somebody else the right way.
So now, how is the whole thing sub? Is it primarily something that's for women, or is it for women and men, or?
Right now I
Mhm.
am focusing on women
Okay.
because I am a woman and I know how, I can relate more to a woman.
Something that you know.
Eventually, yeah. Eventually I do want to bring some men aboard, and counsel some men, but not me. I want to add a man, to the mix so that
Right.
he can counsel, the men, because I just feel that nobody can counsel a man better than a man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to growing in that direction where I can have myself and, a man, a partner, to help, with the men, the male part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because well, I mean, there's a need for it everywhere, of course. I mean, just like how you had mentioned, really wanting to reach the boys, and how really important that is, because, um, the kids, they are our future, and when our future is messed up, you know,
Yeah, they're very impressionable, and they see these rappers and Cardi B with the WAP and all of this other stuff, and unfortunately that's what gets attention, and these girls grow up thinking that that's all they need, and they'll
right,
have a man and they'll keep a man, and and unfortunately it's not cute. It goes way beyond that. They have to learn how to separate, a person who's doing this for fame and for money, from a person who really doesn't know themselves, or they may be struggling with something, but this is how it comes out. You always want to give a man, leave something to the imagination. Don't show all your goodies. Don't
yeah,
play all your cards. It's like, come on. But
exactly.
I'm not talking down about Cardi B. I'm proud of her for taking that step from Atlanta. What is it called? What was the show? Atlanta.
Love and hip hop.
Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So I commend her for saying, no, I want to go ahead and do my music. So that was a huge step, and I'm very proud of her for knowing her worth and stepping away from that to get into something else.
Yeah, I mean, and she's a businesswoman, uh,
Yeah,
not necessarily a role model,
right,
but
right.
but she is, but I mean, role model in the sense of businesswoman. I mean, hey, she found a product,
Yes,
and hey, she's successful at working it out.
yes.
But your petals of patience. They
Hmm.
tell me about some of the things that you offer. Like
Okay.
is
Yeah,
it like?
absolutely. And if I can just mention also too, I just signed on with the Daily Gospel Network. Um,
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. I was seeing that as well. Yeah, the
Yeah,
daily.
I just signed on with them, so
So you
I'll
have a
be doing this
segment on
stuff.
that, right?
Yeah, I have a segment on that. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, Petals of Patience, we offer coaching sessions. So what I would normally do is have a consultation with you. It's a free consultation for
Okay.
about 15 minutes to assess if this is something that I can help you with, or if you need more more stronger help, meaning like if you needed to go to an actual psychiatrist.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
So
but basically it's coaching, and it's, keeping you empowered, inspired through scripture. I'll give you some scriptures to read, some affirmations, some declarations to read, and music as well. Music is part of my program,
nice,
because
nice.
inspirational music always makes you feel better.
Well, you're
Yeah.
musical. That's your foundation right there. You're
Yes,
gonna you're
it
gonna
is.
use,
It is.
So is it like a? if someone was to come to you, would it be like a weekly session, or like how often would some like the coaching, like if you evaluated someone and like, oh,
Mhm.
maybe they didn't need professional help, maybe they're just a little depressed, really needed a little guidance. Like,
Mhm.
is it like a program where, someone could see you on a weekly basis, or go to your.
Yeah. Like if they, I would ask them if they wanted to do, I have one that's 4 sessions and then I have one that's 8 sessions.
Okay.
Yeah. So, or if they just want to talk, they just want some coaching, for like an hour or so, then I would just charge for that hour,
Oh,
so
okay.
they don't have to do like a package. I can do an hourly thing with them if they would like.
Wow. What are some of the greatest challenges that you see, especially now, like in this time right now? Like, what are some of the greatest challenges that you see that women are facing right now?
The biggest challenge to me from what I've seen is that they don't realize that they have choices.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is they'll stay in a unproductive, toxic relationship just to have a relationship. And unfortunately, they don't understand their worth. They don't know their worth. And they don't realize that, hey, you don't have to stay here. You can go.
Right.
You can go. And I understand that, a lot of women, they may depend on that man, to pay the bills, and they don't, they don't have, and maybe they're in a situation where they don't have any education and they can't leave, they can't get a job right now or whatever. But I instill, even in those women, you have about 5 to 6 gifts you can make some money off of.
Yeah.
And you just start making your plan. It may take a while for you to leave, but you can leave. You have the right to leave.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, you got to look out for yourself,
Yeah,
and if and like we said, if you can't make yourself happy, if you're not happy on your own, then happiness with somebody else is absolutely impossible.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
I think it's a fantastic thing that you're helping women to realize that, because that whole issue that you spoke about, it doesn't have an age on it. I mean,
It doesn't.
it could be, you could be speaking to an adolescent, or you could
Yeah.
be speaking to a senior, that's still suffering with that same.
Right. 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 And that's the thing that we really need to understand.
Yeah.
We can have our heart broken a long time ago, or somebody could have violated us a long time ago, but the hurt is still there. That pain can carry on from childhood to adulthood to senior citizenhood
Yeah.
if it's not dealt with in the right manner. You know, there's no age limit on brokenness. There is no age limit on brokenness.
Yeah. There's just some things that just time just could not heal, and
Exactly.
and people need help
That's
in
right.
in order to
That's
heal a
what I'm
lot of
here
that
for.
stuff. And
That's right.
wow,
Yeah.
it's such an amazing journey that you've taken. Um,
Yeah, it's been a fight for me, because I'm one of those people who survived abuse, as a child and growing up and as a teenager, and then I married a man who abused me,
mm,
so I had a lot of trauma, in my life,
right.
and that's why I'm dedicated to helping those who have been through some of those same things so that they can come out of it, you know.
Right. Yeah. And also it's a part of your own personal healing.
Yes.
And while and that really is the definition of God's work.
Yes.
It's when you're healing yourself, and at the same time you're healing others, because we're all connected.
Yes, we are. We are.
We are all connected, you know,
Yes, we are.
and it's like, you know, there's a lot that people are going through that they don't
Mhm.
that they just internalize so much, and sometimes you just need somebody to say, hey, you know, I know what you're going through, and I'm here to help.
Yes.
And wow, that's so
And-
fantastic. So this is where you are now. Um,
Yes.
where do you see this the work that you're doing? You know, where do you see it taking you? 5, 10
Wow.
years moving forward.
Wow.
Mhm.
What I'm praying for is I want to continue speaking all over the nation. I want to continue. I want to be able to travel, to be invited to different conferences and speak, you know, and get some women free that way. I want to continue to build Petals of Patience and, you know, get a lot of people healed that way. I want to have my own show. I want to have my own radio show, you know,
Okay.
where I can play some gospel music. I can play, you know, because there's some gospel music out there that sounds just like R&B, you
That's
know,
right.
and
I
then
know.
yeah, and then there's the Christian hip hop. I'm a big fan of Christian hip hop.
Oh
Lecrae,
yeah.
Trip Lee, you know, I'm a big fan of that. So eventually I would like to journey into having my own radio station and having my own show where I interview people. You know, have them come to the station and interview with me. So I'm working on those types of things in the next 5 years.
Well, hey, I know that, you know, just judging from how far you've come and what it is that you're doing, it's really exciting to see, you know, where God's work is going to take you eventually. You know, it's really an exciting thing, and you know, we're going to definitely keep in contact for sure.
Okay.
You know, I want to make sure, you know, you done piqued my interest now. Now I'm gonna be following you and finding out, be stalking you on the internet. Like, oh, what's Naomi doing now? Where's she at? Where's she at? What's she doing? You know,
Well,
I mean,
thank you. Thank
it's really wonderful work that you're doing.
you.
Tell I want you to tell the folks how it is that
Mhm.
they can get in contact with you, and you know where they can find out more about your ministry and the different
Mhm.
things that you're doing.
Absolutely. So, Facebook, I am Nayomi Charnelle. The way it's spelled, I spell mine differently. Nayomi. Last name is Charnelle. So I have about 3 pages. I have the Naomi Charnelle Show. I have Naomi Charnelle, and I have Naomi's Alabaster Box. So any one of those, you can catch me on that. My Instagram is Prophetess Naomi Charnelle.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just put in my name and you'll see Prophetess Naomi Charnelle come up. My ministry is Petals of Patience Outreach Ministry, and the website is ppoutreach.org. ppoutreach.org.
Anybody want to give a shout out to?
I gotta give a shout out to Anthony Little for hooking this up.
Yeah.
And I
gotta give a shout out to Anthony Little too, man. Yo, like, good looking out, brother. He gave me a. I mean, he gave me. I said, I want a good guest. Somebody good. You have to give me somebody good that has a story to tell, brother. You know, because these spotlights, I don't fool with them. I want them to be, and he went above and beyond on this one.
Oh, thank you.
Nayomi Charnelle, I want to thank you for doing this segment with me, and believe
Absolutely.
you me when I say we're going to be in touch.
Okay. Absolutely.
So thank you so much for
Thank you.
hanging out with me. And I want to thank all the listeners and the viewers out there. Thank you for checking us out. This has been the Sunday Night Spotlight. Comes at you every Sunday, all right, at 8 o'clock p.m. on WSME SM Enlightenment Radio. Have a great night, y'all. Peace and blessings.
Night, everybody.